Welcome, everyone. I hope we're all having a pleasant day or evening, depending on, where you are. I hope everybody's April Fool's Day went well. Ooh, I'm definitely gonna have to go over some of that black again. Should have waited to remove that. However, that is an interesting way to do a crackle paint effect. Hmm, interesting. And this is why we revisit minis after we have quote unquote completed them. So that shit can get out of the way. So how's everybody doing today? Oh. Okay, let's grab you first. Alrighty. So this guy here. Grab this guy here. And we are going to gently fix up some of the black. That's our first order of business. This is the black, right? Yeah. This is the carbon. Use a 1 for this. I guess I could use the 2 for most of this, as most of it is like area coverage. But I don't like having to swap back and forth between brushes over and over if I can help it. Which is why I generally will suffer along with one size of brush, which is also usually the smallest brush I can get away with using at the time. I don't have to switch. I don't want to switch. That's interesting. To say away unless you want to break. Okay. This, kids, is why we do cleanup. I fuck up all. Although this time it was more unintended consequences than anything else. So like It's one of those things of, okay, I see how this works now. I need to be a little bit more careful when doing this in the future. I also need a better way to do these lines in the future, because I cannot have them that unfucking or inconsistent. That will just drive me batty. I'm like, I guess I could make a template for that, but I mean, I don't think it would work as well. I guess that's going to be a consistent size across every mech across the CGL BattleTech lines. So like, I could just make a template. Might be an idea. I do have a bunch of plastic card that I could use for that endeavor. I was also trying to figure out ways I could touch up some of the like bleed through. And I came up with a couple of ideas. I'm just not 100% sure which I want to go with. The most appealing idea, honestly, is essentially me just doing some pigment weathering and making it look like there's just a bunch of sand blown across the road. And then just like strategically place some of it so that it kind of covers up or like takes some of the focus away from where some of the bleed through was, which is an option. Let that dry. I know this is super exciting. Everybody came to watch me like actually paint miniatures, and all I'm doing here is touching shit up. Come on. That's probably a hair that got painted underneath everything, but too fucking bad. I am not going to worry about that right now. Ghost of the future days, on the crusade, gods decay to end our violent ways. Hey. Hey. Oh, hi there, Putums. Mostly fine. This one came out actually mostly fine. The one I like the least had the most consistent fucking work on the bass. Like the least crackling. You know, I think when I have the money to kind of blow it on fucking about and trying stuff out, I should narrow down why exactly the black crackled the way it did. So that I can attempt to replicate it in a more consistent manner. Because like that would actually be really good for like a faint crackle effect. For like even like this scale for like a desert floor type deal. Or for like mostly cooled lava type deal where there might still be a little bit of red peeking through. Because, you know, while it would probably be inadvisable to walk your mech over still hot volcanic stone, I mean, it's not like it would kill your heat sinks right away. You'd have a couple of minutes at least. So, hi there, Miss Chris. Had to get some of the ink out of there. I think honestly, it what caused it was trying to go too thick over a large surface. But I mean, I don't know why it didn't do the same thing to the yellow. Maybe because I only did it in one coat with the black. Like I was trying to get the coverage with like all at once. It is something to kick around in the old noodle. Those would be some really big road lines now that I think about it. Like, and that's the smallest masking tape that I have. That I think is 1 millimeter. I think is what the smallest is listed at. No, that's more than 1 millimeter. Hold on. We're aware. It's one of my fucking measuring tools. Easy way to do this. Oh, where did it go? I'm not sure where I put my calipers. That's no bueno. No, fuck did I put my calipers? Fuck it, I'll just use this. Okay, 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters. Still, I think one would probably actually would have been perfect for that. If it would have been like 1 millimeter thick, that would have been about perfect for road line width at that scale. Okay, chill out there. Okay, so on these, I do still have to do like the final wash. Which I've decided I'm going to use my version of Nuln Oil for. Need. Partially to make them look a little bit dirtier, and to kind of bring all of the colors down by the same amount with the like same tones type deal. As I come. Gits, welcome in. How are you doing? How's your stream? Raiders, welcome in. Hope you're all having a great day. I hope April Fool's Day wasn't too ridiculous for you all. Hey there, Mittens. Okay, so why won't Skits let you have anything fun, Weirdling? It's technically barely Tuesday here. I mean, people do generally need their faces in day-to-day life. And um it is in fact a Warhammer. I mean, I kind of need my face to find work. Alrighty, Skits. You have a great day. Thank you very much for raiding in. Model Lord, welcome in. Thank you very much for the raid. To be honest, I had a flashback to like, and this is going to be dating myself, the old like original Nintendo Entertainment System era where everybody called any video game system a Nintendo. So when you're like, is that a Warhammer? I'm like, for a split second, I'm like, well, no, it's a BattleTech technically, but then I'm like, well, yeah, yeah, it is a Warhammer. Honestly, I'm surprised that GW hasn't yet pulled the thing that Nintendo had to do way back in like the 80s and 90s, asking people to stop referring to all models as Warhammer. Yeah, no worries. Nice. But yeah, currently I'm just doing some finishing touches on the basing. And then I have to go over the whole thing with my homemade not Nuln oil wash. My legally distinct um dark brown slash gray wash that looks surprisingly similar to Nuln oil, but is, for all intents and purposes, distinct. Yeah, so for anybody new around here, I make my own paint sometimes. I do not like. Okay, so also disclaimer: I am semi anti GW to the tune of I won't spend my money on GW products myself, but I won't diss other people for doing so. They kind of lost my support over the whole like fan creator debacle that happened a couple years back. So like I won't ever say other people should boycott GW, but I boycott GW. Yeah, I don't know. I just after essentially how they treated some of the fan creators and essentially attempted to bully fan creators out of the ecosystem because they wanted their streaming service to take off. I I get that they need to make their money, but nah, that's not the way to do it. And also there are some in the community that like even if they brought back the one game that I would consider going back to them for, I probably won't ever go back. There's a certain there's one content creator specifically that I've dealt with that basically accused me of having Games Workshop derangement syndrome anytime I criticized GW. Like, and like that being said, like I do still have some GW stuff that I have yet to paint, and eventually I'll get around to painting it on the channel. It's just I won't buy anything new from them. Um, there is one company, however, in the miniature painting sphere that I do 100% boycott, and that's AK Interactive. Um, I will, even if they are the only option for something to buy locally, I will find that option. Like, I will order anything else online to avoid dealing with them. But yeah, like Also, what you get for the price, honestly, even for the Blood Bowl stuff, you can get so much better stuff out there. Like so many better minis out there from third party and like other sculptors. Hey there, Louis Fraga, how are you doing? I fucked that up. But is already kind of fucked up and not properly straight. So hopefully nobody will get behind this mech in its rear arc to see that. Not terrible. I'm alive. The cold, cold embrace of death hasn't claimed me yet. Um, I have some plans to do some like actual like recording tomorrow. Since it's going to be raining and shitty out, I'm planning on I have some like modifications I need to make to my resume, and then I also have a skeleton of a script for a video idea that I have. Something I've been kind of noodling over for about a week now. It is basically kind of end of winter storm season right now here. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the low single digits and like a mix of rain and snow. Apparently, in some areas of southern Ontario, there have been like ice storms. And then Thursday, it's supposed to get up to like 17, so it's gonna be a pretty nice day.
P is for priceless, the look upon your faces. E is for extinction, all your puny races. R for revolution, which will be televised. F is for how fucked you are. Now allow me to reprise. E is for eccentric, just listen to my song. C is for completion that I've waited for so long. T is for the terror upon you I'll bestow. My name is Perfect Cell, and I'd like to say hello.
Still cracking a little bit. It's not gonna be perfect, but like at arm's length, it'll look fine. Nice. Do you have as many knights as me yet? I believe if I remember correctly, my count is 9. Well, that's because I have no Titan. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have liters of resin to be able to print multiple Warlord Titans. Okay, so now what I need. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, and the Warlord took, what did you say? It was like 5? Or was that one 2? Either way, that's a lot of resin. 10. 10 liters. And and how many Warlords do you have printed off? Yeah, we're gonna use a 3 for this. Because I need coverage really more than anything else. Oh no! Like, was it like irreparably damaged? Or can you like glue it back together? Like, I know you can sometimes get lucky with resin where like it'll break at a, repairable quote unquote point. Are you gonna turn it into scenery? Like, that would actually be really cool as part of a fucking table, having a busted up like warlord titan that you're fighting around on and for. Then you just need to get another 10 liters of resin and print another one. Yeah, you're not getting any donations from me, my friend. Fuck, I need donations myself at this point in time. Besides, any money I do spend on hobby stuff, you know, it's got to go towards either BattleTech or dice for me. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. Although that being said, I do still need to get off my ass and start designing my own dice, like I've been considering / planning on doing. Make myself some custom dice that I can sell. Advertise like a loaded option and like claim that they only roll sixes and make them so that they only ever roll ones. I'll probably need that much. Wait. Caffeinating, just give me one quick moment to get this on. Yeah. Also, how you doing, Cheer?
First blood!
Ah. Okay. Rinse off. And caffeinating. Hmm. Some Tintin busts. Like the from the animated show with the dog. I mean, no shade. Just neat. Kind of nifty, even. Yeah. I mean, I didn't remove you from the campaign portion of the Discord. Oh, that's neat. No. Honestly, with like real life issues happening, um, there have been a couple of skipped sessions, so and like even still, essentially, I just said that you were assigned somewhere else in the ship, or you had duties somewhere else in the ship, so you were still there. It's not like you had left. One of the main reasons why I have everything set up the way I do. Because if people have to like dip out and come back, it can be made to work relatively easily. Yeah, I think there's only ever been one person that I've had in a game that I was like, okay, you're gone now, don't ever come back. And that was somebody who decided to ghost the campaign because I said that I don't do well with conservatives in my community. But that was more of a case of they removed themselves at like they basically removed themselves from my community and I killed their character in a drastic way off screen. Like the rest of the party woke up doing well with huh? I am confused by your question, Lucifer. But well, everything that's been said by anybody that's not me has been typed. So I do not have anybody else who is in voice with me. Okay. So what happened with that? I think they ended up rejoining. No, essentially what had happened was it was during the beginning of the pandemic, or well, not necessarily the beginning, but it was during the pandemic, during the Freedom Convoy, quote unquote, in Canada. And this was back when I was still using Facebook regularly. Um, and essentially what happened was I had posted on my personal Facebook that if anybody supports the Freedom Convoy, that they can just fuck right off because the Freedom Convoy were a bunch of motherfuckers. Like they fucking terrorized the downtown like of Ottawa for I think it ended up being like a month or two. Um, and they had like people waving Confederate and fucking Nazi flags, and it was a whole thing. And the dude just straight up left the community and ghosted me. Well, ghosted not only me but everybody in the D&D campaign that I was running at the time on the channel. So I pinned his D&D character to the side of a mountain with a silver spike. And that's kind of the long and the short of that one. And he was like basically he was a very conservative leaning individual. Probably still is. Not at all. You're just reassigned and you got assigned back. Like it doesn't need to be any more complicated than you want it to be. Good morning, Kate. How are you doing? I'm alive. I mean, if that's what you want to do, but I know that you tend to feel like you tend to get overwhelmed with stuff like that. You don't have to worry about it. Don't overwhelm yourself. Like Yeah, I. One of the reasons why I'm glad I switched over to just OBS is the updates
I cast
aren't
Fireball.
anywhere
The homeless
near as like liable to brick something on my stream. Really? That's weird. I've never had that issue with just OBS. I've had issues with Streamlabs where their stuff just kept failing on me all the time. Like, not necessarily the streaming software, but like their would fail on me regularly. Aspects of Streamlabs would fail on me regularly. Well, I chalk my issues with Streamlabs up to the fact that like the guts for my computer at the time couldn't necessarily handle it as well because like Streamlabs compared with OBS, Streamlabs is such a resource hog. Like it is so much more like resource intensive than OBS because it loads a whole bunch of shit that you may not actually need all the time. But then there's also the fact that like Streamlabs tried to with mine it was just the fact that it was older. Like the motherboard in it was a few years old. Like I actually ended up having to swap out the motherboard because a part of it had died. And I couldn't do voice chat in Discord for some reason. It just wouldn't work. However, I could do voice chat via like Google Voice and shit like that, or like I think I could do Zoom. I don't remember if I actually tried Zoom or not. But like yeah, I couldn't use Discord Voice just at all. Um, After a certain point, which it turned out it was I needed a new motherboard, but so like yeah, like there's a chance that the I mean, to be fair, I do have parts in this computer still that are over a decade old. Like, I have one of my hard drives is close to like 15 years old now, and it still works. Alrighty, Liz Fraga, you have a great day ahead. As always, it's a pleasure having you in chat. that. Those are some washed meats. It's amazing what like a simple coat of wash will do to a miniature. And caffeinating in just half a tick. I just need to clean off my brush here. Okay, and caffeinating. Alrighty, so yeah, these might need to actually go over the bases again, but this is, once the fucking camera focuses, effectively what I have been working on over the last little bit. And with the wash on it, it makes it pop just the right amount. Okay, so we're gonna do one last pass on some of the bases to get some of that black touched up. You know, the next time I have one of my ink bottles empty, I should make my not Nuln Oil in it. Oh yeah, and since it's coming up, I'm gonna shill it more verbally too. So at the end of this month, my podcast and I are doing a 24-hour stream for Extra Life. You can check out the details at the link that is just in chat right now. But we're gonna be well, I am guaranteed gonna be on for the full 24 hours. And we're gonna be doing TTRPGs for the full time. With myself and a rotating cast of Chuckle Fucks. And depending on how the schedule goes, I may end up doing some solo TTRPGs on stream. But yeah, the stream will be also both on here on Twitch and also on the Daniel's Dread Tales YouTube channel as well. But yeah, since it is for a good cause, I definitely hope you guys check it out. And hope you all stop by. Donations would be appreciated. They'll help us get to our goals, and it'll also help kind of fuck with us. And if we can get to the $1,000 goal that I arbitrarily set for us, we'll do the scariest thing that we can imagine.
Play D&D!
Yeah, our podcast is staunchly anti D&D. Which I am 100% okay with because I am staunchly anti Wizards of the Coast because they're assholes. Actually, I guess that's another company that I boycott and generally. Well, no, I won't. I won't say anything about other people giving them money, but that's another company that I refuse to give money to simply because of the fact of their corporate actions. I think the issue with them that sealed it for me was when they sent the Pinkertons after somebody for getting a box of magic cards that they weren't supposed to. Like, dude ordered one box, was sent another by mistake, and was like, ooh, hey, neat, I'm gonna make a video. And then the next thing he knows, the fucking Pinkertons are at his door. Ever since that happened, I was like, yeah, nah. We're not gonna give fucking WotC our cash. Plus, they're also like apparently leaning into the fucking to using AI assets for their magic cards now. Sorry, apparently, allegedly, they're using AI assets in some of their magic cards now. Yeah, fuck them. Didn't use the finished one. Did I? Yeah, I did. I did use the finished one. So yeah, anybody who's new around here, welcome to my channel. I have opinions. Um, and I'm not afraid to express them. Meow yourself, cat. Meow. I'm also very pro female space marine, by the way, so. Okay, so out of this set here, I'm down to 4. And you know what? Owlboy's gonna get some love. Yeah, we're gonna do the tiny owl. Boop. And in this case, what we're gonna do. Oh, we're gonna need to replace that. That should be fine. We'll need to varnish that. Which is why I'm leaving the rest of the mechs on the caps, is because they all need to be varnished. This actually might end up being a slightly shorter stream. Because I have to wait for the ink and the wash on those to dry before I can varnish them. And I'm going to have to wait for the primer on this guy to dry before I can paint him. On, I say. Not that one. It's not that one. Remember, no glove, no love. No glove, no love. Say I'm more concerned about the electronics than I am my fucking cutting mat. I still even need to figure out what I'm gonna like, what coloration I'm gonna paint this owl dude. He's a wizard. I have not spilled the not Nuln Oil. Thank you very much. Also, welcome in DV Ghost. Also, I make my own Nuln Oil. Thank you very much. It's artisanal. Yeah, so since you are new around here, I'm Magical Hack, as I'm sure you have already guessed. I paint minis, I talk shit. I also talk TTRPGs and stuff like that. And yeah, occasionally I make my own paints, washes, and the like. I've done so on the channel. I've also done so over on my YouTube once or twice. Alright, so right now what we're doing is we're actually doing some prep work for tomorrow's stream. Because the battle mechs that I've been painting, I'm basically done with. So now I need to prime this little asshole. So he is ready for tomorrow. Ooh, yeah, I can feel that. There we go. That wasn't. Yeah. This little motherfucker has both arms and wings. What the hell? That's not anatomically correct, owl. Yeah, oh no, I 100% get that. It's like you don't want to unpack everything, get to painting, and be like, oh, I gotta move now. Because that would be no fun. No fun at all. Then you gotta pack all the shit back up. And I mean, also, to be fair, what miniature painter doesn't have a mountain of projects that they have available? Like, I could just not buy any minis this whole year, not spend any money on miniatures whatsoever, and I will have more than enough projects to keep me running to the end of the year. Well, okay, so minimal amount of spend because, like, I still have, like, to be able to do that, I would probably have to buy resin. Although, actually, because I do have some old like 40k stuff that I can paint. I still have a not Dalcine that I can paint. I have a few fucking Reaper minis that I can paint still. So yeah, like I could probably get with what I have just like printed off already, and or like without needing to print anything new. I probably have at minimum enough to get me through to the end of the year. Because like I also have a bunch of like the 40k terrain that came with like the Knights boxes. That's still like on sprue and unpainted. That soak for just a little bit while the tank fills back up. Oh, nice. Oh, damn it. That cup is out of coffee. Yeah, I have a bunch of old school BattleTech minis, like the old plastics. I actually have a couple of metal ones too. I have at least half of an Imperial Navy fleet for Battlefleet Gothic. I have a whole bunch of Chaos like frigate sized ships for Battlefleet Gothic that I can paint up. Um, there's the industrial complex terrain from GW that I have. I also have the crashed Valkyrie or whatever it is terrain to paint up. Yeah, I actually thinking about it, I have a crap ton of stuff that I could paint. And that's not even like if I was to dip into the GW stuff that I'd already stripped to use for something to like basically paint for something else. I also have a Lady Elf Archer bust that I'm eventually going to get around to painting. I need to clean her up a little bit because I was less than diligent when I removed the supports. So there are some nubbins. But like this was actually a pretty good print job, all things considered. Like the bowstring broke, and I still have to like sand the back of it down because it's essentially a little saw. Pardon me. But yeah, like I definitely have more than a few projects that I could. Oh wow, nice. And I'm just gonna throw this out there, but I'm willing to bet that there are probably way better like small sculptors that you can have access to for less money, especially when it comes to like shipping and shit like that. Because I know there are a lot of really good mini companies out of like Spain and whatnot, and you know, a few companies scattered about the EU that are fucking phenomenal sculptors. But unfortunately, shipping to get them across the pond over to here in Canada is kind of painful. Honestly, what I think that like the leadership in the EU and the Canadian government should do is sit down and figure out a way to make it so that like shit can be shipped between Canada and the various nations of the EU without having to worry about duties or tariffs or anything like that. Just completely free fucking shipping throughout, and then cut the US out of the chain. Just be like, okay, you can do your own thing. That way, I can get all the really good minis. Well, yeah, like that's the thing is getting stuff from outside of the EU. I could see as being a pain in the ass. But like, where is it? I know here was it either Big Child Creative or Hero Miniatures. One of those two I know are based somewhere in the EU. And yeah, it would probably be cheaper to get something from like one of those companies for you than it would be for me. But I mean, like, I would assume also with like from what I understand, I don't live in the EU, so like this is just based on my understanding of how it works. But I would assume that like based on my understanding, like you have pretty much like free movement anywhere within the EU. You could like, you know, go for a trip to and I know it would probably take a while. Oh. Oh, I thought Turkey was part of the EU. That's my bad. And honestly, that's basically fucking how it works between Canada and the States. Is if it's and it's actually a way lower amount. Anything over like 10 Canadian dollars, if you declare it for like what it's worth, you will get screwed when it comes to duties. As an example, so one of the other communities that I'm in does a yearly like art swap. Last year, the person that I was swapping with was sending their miniature up from the States. Now, boo. This is that miniature. This is literally the sexiest miniature that I fucking own. If I was to get this commissioned, it would be a few $100s to get this done. Like, at this quality. Well fucking worth it. Oh, yeah. Like, it's... Like, yeah. And he listed the price for what he would charge if he was to do that as a commission. Which, I get it. Fucking list what you're worth. Register in the campaign thingy. What do you... Huh? Oh, for Extra Life? Whatever you feel comfortable with. Like, if you want to do it as Cheer Kitty, go nuts. If you want to use your given name, that's no big thing either. I can definitely do that. Sorry, I was confused for a moment. Because I was about to say, you're already part of the campaign. Then I'm like, wait a second. No. I should ask follow-up questions here. Turn that off. We're going to pull the plug. Oh, yeah. That's... Oh, let it all out. Oop. But yeah, it's honestly, it's whatever you feel, however you feel comfortable listing it. I will call out the name, like when we're doing the stream, I will call out the name as it is put in there. But yeah. I ended up having to pay, I think it was over $100 in fucking duties for that because they listed the price as to they listed the cost as to what they would sell it for. Which, again, it is what it is. It's just unfortunately the way the reality of shipping between our two nations sucks balls. And not in the good way. But yeah, so it's one of those things that I can definitely feel that. That's why, like, if I'm ever getting anything from the States, well, I mean, there are ways around it because, like, oh yeah, the fucking kicker with that model they showed you, they labeled it as a gift, and I still had to pay duties on it. So, like, what I always suggest doing to anybody who is sending me something from the States is just like list the price, list the cost of it at like $10. That's it. Don't list the cost as any more than that. Otherwise, I'm paying a massive amount of money. I've even had fucking Lethal Shadows Gaming. I've bought some stuff from them in the past. Well, I mean, like the extra life portion, the extra life thing is like, so sorry, to actually join in one of the games is a like a donation. There is a donation limit for joining into one of the games. However, for just watching, if you show up anytime between it's starting at 12 p.m. Eastern on Sunday and going to 12 p.m. Eastern on Monday. So that would be Tuesday to Wednesday at some point for you. Because you're like, what, 12 hours? Or, no, you're not 12 hours. You're, what, 4 hours? No, you're. What time is it right there? It's easier for me to do the math this way. Because I know Sharky is like 14 hours ahead of me. I want to say that you're, yeah, so you're 7 hours ahead. So it'd be going from like 7 p.m. I'm pretty sure it's a.m. for cheer at the moment. So for you, it would be going from 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Sunday to Monday. Now, that being said, cheer, if you are available on the Sunday and I need somebody to join in for a game, I may tap you on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, you want to join in?" But that's depending on like people's availability and stuff like that. But yeah, to have like a seat set aside for a game, that, like I said, yeah, is a essentially a donate. There's a donation limit for that. I think I set that to $100. I'd have to actually look at the page. But what I should do is I am gonna hit a button over here, and then bip over to the couch because, like I said, I gotta wait for some stuff to dry, so that I can make sure everything is, as they say, hunky dory. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to call it here. Yes, yes, I will provide treats for the puddums, in 2 jiggles of a jackrabbit's arse. Hey, Miss Chris.
Whoop.
Coming or what? You want treats or no? Yeah, come on. Come on, Miss Chungus. Well, want it or not? Good girl. Well, move forward. Here, you can get it. Good girl. I guess I'm hydrating this time. Hydrated. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kill the YouTube's stream. Anybody who is watching over there, thank you very much for joining. I will be back